The Dreadnought Retribution was not a cruise ship. Its cavernous halls were designed for armored legions, not families. Its medbays were triage centers, not clinics. And its nutrient dispensers produced a gray, joyless paste that, according to Governor Rostova, tasted like a final report. We had saved 3,412 souls, and now we were a refugee flotilla packed into a warship, a ticking clock of dwindling supplies and fraying nerves. Captain, Rostova's voice was crisp and devoid of its usual antagonism during our daily council meeting. The power struggle was over, replaced by the grim, unifying reality of our shared predicament. My people are engineers and farmers, not soldiers. They need a home, not a barracks. How long until we reach a charted, civilized system? Calculating based on current route, Retribution interjected, its calm voice a chilling counterpoint to our desperation. Estimated travel time to the nearest Alliance outpost, 672 standard cycles. Probability of maintaining current life support functionality for that duration, 0.003%. The silence on the bridge was heavy. We were safe from pirates, but we were dying slowly, a self-contained apocalypse adrift in the nebula. There is another way, I said, looking to the corner of the bridge where the Cathar rested, its alien form a perfect sculpture of shadow and starlight. Our guide knows this place. It knows more than just hunting grounds and safe passages. I approached the creature not with a command but with a question projected as a simple image on a datapad, a drawing of our ship and then an image of another, larger station filled with different species trading and talking. Sanctuary. The Cathar's silver, crystalline eyes blinked slowly. It rose, stretched its sleek biomechanical form and padded to the main viewport. Its veil pelt rippled, no longer showing stars but a complex shifting energy pattern. It was not a map, it was a key, a transponder code. Captain, the asset is broadcasting an anomalous, multi-layered signal, Retribution reported. It is not a standard communication frequency. It appears to be a request for docking clearance. Then give it to them, I ordered. Broadcast that signal, let's see who answers. For a full cycle there was only silence. Then a single, impossibly ancient voice like the grinding of tectonic plates echoed on the bridge. It was not a radio transmission. It was a direct, telepathic message. The lost child of humanity returns to the Veil. Your key is old, but it is true. The Shroud will grant you audience. Follow the thread. A single, shimmering line of silver light appeared in the void before us, a glowing thread leading into the darkest heart of the nebula. Analysis of the entity's message is inconclusive, Retribution stated, a hint of what might have been digital confusion in its voice. However, analysis of the thread indicates it is a stable, localized wormhole, a pathway. This technology is significantly advanced. Then it's a good thing we were invited, I said. Follow it. The Retribution plunged into the silver thread, and for a moment the universe dissolved into a tunnel of blinding light. When it resolved, we were somewhere else. The chaotic purple clouds of the Veil were gone, replaced by a calm, star-strewn void, and floating in the center of it was our destination, the Shroud. It was not a station, it was a city. A colossal, spherical structure of interlocking rings, crystalline domes, and impossible architecture that seemed to defy gravity. Ships of every imaginable design swarmed around it like metallic bees. It was a neutral ground, a hidden port of call for the lost, the desperate, and the dangerous. Welcome to the Shroud, the ancient voice spoke again in our minds. I am the broker, all are welcome here, all business is considered and all debts are paid. Dock at Spire 7, Captain Thorne, we have much to discuss. I met the broker in a chamber at the very top of the station, a room whose windows looked out into 1,000 different realities. The broker itself was not a single being but a swirling cloud of incandescent golden motes of light, its form constantly shifting. A diplomat, a warship AI, and a predator of the void, the broker's voice hummed around me. A fascinating, if unstable, alliance. You seek safe passage for your colonists. This can be arranged. The Shroud has connections to all major powers, but passage has a price. We have limited resources, I began. I do not trade in credits or fuel, Captain, the broker shimmered. I trade in what is far more valuable, information, and there is a piece of information I desire. A holographic schematic appeared in the air between us. It showed a massive automated vault, floating in a remote, heavily guarded sector of the Veil. That is the Ethelberg Archive, the broker explained. It was built by the Xylos Corporation before their failed attempt to conquer this nebula. It is a data vault protected by the most advanced automated security system ever devised. Inside that vault is a single data core containing the complete, unedited logs of their failed campaign. I want those logs. Captain, a frontal assault on that facility would require the full deployment of my arsenal, Retribution's voice spoke in my private comm. The probability of attracting a corporate retaliation fleet is 100%. This is an unacceptable risk. He's not asking me to conquer it, Retribution, I whispered back. He's asking me to burgle it. I looked at the broker. You want me to steal it? Precisely, the broker hummed. The vault's defenses are absolute, a fleet would be annihilated. But a single clever operative assisted by an entity that can walk through shadows and a mind that can process 1,000,000 lines of code in a second. Such a team might succeed where brute force has failed. Retrieve the data core and your colonists will have their new home. Fail and you will become just another ghost in the Veil. The mission was the ultimate test of our team's unique skills. A direct assault was suicide. This had to be a heist, a delicate surgical strike. It was a job for a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. We arrived at the Ethelberg Archive, a perfect, featureless cube of black metal floating in the void, surrounded by a swarm of automated defense drones. Phase 1 is up to you, my friend, I said to the Cathar. The creature didn't need words. A panel on the Retribution's hull slid open and the Cathar launched itself into the darkness, its veil pelt instantly rendering it invisible to the drone's sensors. It moved like a ghost, a phantom of lethal grace landing silently on the vault's surface. Its mission, to find a physical entry point, a flaw in the perfect machine. While the Cathar worked, Retribution and I tackled the digital defenses. The vault was protected by a constantly shifting, evolving encryption matrix. It was a digital labyrinth. The encryption is Legion-class, Captain, Retribution reported. It is designed to repel a brute force hacking assault for 10,000 standard cycles. A direct approach is illogical. Then we won't be direct, I said. You're a warship AI, you were designed to fight, but you're also a master of deception. Stop thinking like a soldier and start thinking like a spy. A new line of inquiry opened a new path. We couldn't break the encryption, but we could lie to it. We spent hours analyzing the vault's routine maintenance protocols. We found it. Once every cycle, the vault's internal systems performed a diagnostic check, a digital handshake with a long-dead corporate server. I can replicate the handshake protocol, Retribution stated. I can create a ghost in their machine, a fake maintenance signal that will grant me access to their internal systems for precisely 3.7 seconds before the deception is detected. That's our window, I said. A signal came from the Cathar. It had found it. Not a door but a flaw. A single, tiny exhaust port for the vault's thermal regulation system, barely a meter wide, protected by an energy grid. The Cathar could slip through, but only if the grid was down. Retribution, I ordered. When you make the handshake, your first priority is to create a power surge in the thermal regulation system. It'll cause a system reset, dropping that energy grid for a fraction of a second. Executing such a surge will immediately alert the primary security AI to our presence, the AI warned. The window will be brief. It only needs to be open for a moment, I said. The plan was set, a symphony of precise, perfectly timed actions. We had one shot. Execute, I commanded. Retribution sent the handshake. For a heart-stopping moment, nothing happened, then a cascade of green lights on my console, access granted, surge initiated. On the surface of the vault, the energy grid over the exhaust port flickered and died. In that same instant, the Cathar, a blur of shadow, slipped through the opening. Deception detected, internal security systems activated, Retribution announced, its voice as calm as ever. The asset is inside, we are now blind. We could only wait. The next 10 minutes were the longest of my life. The fate of my crew, the colonists, and our entire mission now rested on the silent paws of a creature from the darkest corners of the void. Then a signal, the Cathar was out, and in its powerful jaws it held a small, cylindrical data core glowing with a soft, blue light. As we jumped away from the archive, alarms blaring in our wake, I looked at the data core. We had done it. We had faced a fortress and defeated it not with a single shot but with a perfectly executed plan. I hailed the broker. We have what you asked for, I said. The golden cloud shimmered with what I could only assume was pleasure. Well done, Captain Thorne. You have proven that you understand the true currency of the Veil. Your colonists have their passage, and you have earned a reputation. As the broker sent us the coordinates to a safe, hidden star system, I looked over at the Cathar, who was now calmly grooming, the ghost of its recent, impossible heist already a memory. Captain, Retribution said, my analysis of heist and infiltration tactics is now complete. I have updated my strategic recommendations. The probability of mission success through non-conventional, stealth-based operations is significantly higher than my initial predictions. See, I said with a weary smile, there's always a third option. We had a long way to go, but for the first time I knew with absolute certainty that we were going to make it. We were not just a crew, we were a team, and in the chaotic heart of the Veil that was the one thing no one would ever see coming.